It's time to get real with Eddie, here to help you understand the changing real estate market and meet your real estate goals. Over 19 years in the business. 2018 Realtor of the Year of Three Rivers. Past president of the Three Rivers Association of Realtors. Director at the Illinois Association of Realtors and team lead of the Ruettiger Group at Baird Warner. Here's Eddie Ruettiger.
Oh, it is time to get real with Eddie. I am freshly back from Orlando, Florida. That's right, I was down in Orlando for conference, and I did not get in until last night. It was crazy. Nancy's going to be joining us shortly, as always, from the Ruettiger Group at Baird Warner. She is actually at the board of directors for Three Rivers meeting right now, so she's going to be finishing up that meeting, and she's heading to the studio shortly, so we will have her joining us also. But first, let's talk about what I saw overall at National. It was pretty amazing. There's a lot of new technologies. I saw some stuff I picked up myself. 3D floor mapping was a big push I saw on the expo floor. Lot of stuff with contact managers. So it's all designed for realtors. It's designed for them to see, what's the greatest, what's the next big technology that would work for them. But not just that, you have two other components to this, almost three more components. So the first one is the general sessions. They are pretty amazing. The president of the National Association, Leslie Ruda-Smith, spoke, did an outstanding job leading the conference. She did an interview with the younger of the women's tennis players, not Serena, but I'm drawing a mind blank on her name at the moment. Where's Nancy when I need her? But we'll come back to that. Just a great interview, though. It was a really good interview. They like to bring in the big national sports, a lot of sports athletes for these interviews when they do them. The reason why is the lifestyle with actors and athletes are very similar to realtors. I don't know if you've ever heard me comment in the past that my job is not a kind of a job, it's more of a lifestyle. You have to, if you're going to be a full-time real estate agent, you have a lifestyle. It is, I'm working when other people are not working, when they're off. That's when they want to see houses and view properties and things like that. So luckily my wife is very understanding in this process and very supportive. So she gets it. And it does make a really big difference when you have the support of your family, friends. I still get to do some amazing stuff. It was pretty cool. I was down before the hurricane. I know some of you are thinking you just went to Orlando. Yes, I was there for Nicole. It wasn't an actual hurricane by the time it reached Orlando. Kind of just went into the hotel and chilled for about 24 hours. Really overnight, late Wednesday night, and by 1 o'clock, the severe winds had, died down to about 10-15 miles an hour. It didn't seem like it got over 50, but were projecting winds over 50 miles an hour when we were down there. So it was a pretty amazing week. One of the biggest takeaways, of course, is I was away right across and down the aisle, 2 rows deep from Lawrence Young, chief economist for the National Association of Realtors. And he's been talking, and he kind of got into the same stuff that we've been talking about the show for the last couple months, and that is he does see prices continuing to rise. He does see interest rates possibly peaking. We may have seen the peak of interest rates, and that could hold true. I do expect the Fed to come out on the next raise in 50 basis points, not 75. And if anybody saw the PPI numbers, the price the numbers this morning, they were down. So that is kind of big, the fact that they are down and lower than what was expected. So I have those numbers here. Hold on a second and pull those up. So that could help us when it comes to what's going on. So the Producers Price Index was estimated to be 8.3. It came in at 8 year over year. Month estimate was to be 0.4%, and it came in at 0.2%. So that is some huge numbers. Did see a lot of decreases in fuel costs, lubrication, stuff along those lines. Some other financial management stuff was mixed. Banks kind of were down, but yet the aspect from what I understand in like retirement account managers, stuff like that, it was kind of a mix there. But hospital costs, that was a little bit higher. So it was a little mixed bag. The core PPI, which was estimated to be 7.2, came in at 6.7. All right, so why do I bring up inflation? Inflation is going to dictate where the interest rates goes. When you're talking housing and you're talking what's going on, inflation is going to dictate where this housing aspect and where everything is going to be at. So that is why we keep bringing it up and why we keep talking about the inflationary number. So with that, you want to see these numbers get back to somewhat of a normal level. We want to see inflation come down. And you're seeing more and more economists predicting, because they've slammed on the brakes. Some people will say too hard. Some people are saying not hard enough. That's a personal choice, I guess. I don't know. But because they've slammed on the brakes, you are seeing this inflation starting to slow down. And yes, I do think we're going to be into a recession next year in 2023. What does that mean for housing is the question. I am starting to see some market numbers showing that we're starting to see some prices come down in some areas, some softening. So if you're a buyer, it's a great opportunity. And remember, they say the 5 biggest stresses in life. All right. Buying a house is one of the top 5 stresses. But the other four usually trigger a sale. So people are always buying and selling real estate no matter what. And so when you're looking at what the other aspects are and what, causes are, top 5 stresses. Finding a job. Well, a lot of people buy a house after they find a new job. Getting married, getting divorced. And then finally, death. Dealing with the loss of a loved one. All of those trigger usually a sale in the market. All of those cause people to sell. It's not just about the economics of the situation. You don't buy a house because it's a great deal. You try to get a great deal after you found the house that you want to buy. But you're not buying a house because it's a great deal. Let's be honest. You're buying a house because it makes economic sense. It's cheaper than renting, better than renting. You have the opportunity to build more wealth versus renting. So that's kind of the focus of where the whole conversation was going. And it was a great expo. We're going to probably be talking about a lot of things I saw down in Orlando over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, Nicole wasn't horrible, but it was still something to be serious about. And, I don't think you take any kind of storm, for granted. You never know what can happen. You never know. So you always be safe. And like I said, I kind of locked down for about 12 hours. I didn't go to, and there was nothing really going on Thursday. So we were set and ready to go. All right. I want to get into VA loans. How, because Friday was Veterans Day. It's a special place in my heart. I thank all the veterans. My grandfather was a Marine. My father is a retired police officer. And I think all of our first responders and our veterans, they do hold a very special place in my heart. The VA loan is such a great opportunity, and I see so many veterans passing up. When you're talking about costs and you're talking about trying to get into a property, a VA loan gives you a great chance to take advantage of this. And Veterans Day is really special to me too, because it is actually my anniversary of being a realtor. So I am officially in my 22nd year. I have 21 years of being a realtor now. And it's such an honor to have that anniversary date on Veterans Day. I don't even know how the association must have been open on Veterans Day back 21 years ago. That's the only way I know how, because I know we close now. So the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs describes the VA loan program as this. VA helps service members, veterans, and eligible surviving spouses become homeowners. As part of our mission to serve, we provide a home loan guaranteed benefit and other housing-related programs to help you buy, build, repair, retain, or adapt a home for your own personal occupancy. So some of the top benefits of the VA loan: qualified borrowers can often purchase a home with no down payment. Many other loan programs are 20% required. Private mortgage insurance. VA loans do not require any mortgage insurance, which means the veteran is saving on their monthly housing cost. VA loans are often competitive terms and mortgage rates. Very competitive. A lot of times I've seen them being better opportunities than some other rates out there and other options out there. So Veterans United sum it up: for the vast majority of military borrowers, VA loans represent the most powerful lending program on the market. These flexible, zero down payment mortgages have helped more than 24 million service members become homeowners since 1944. So if you are a veteran and you are thinking of buying a home and you have never done this, look into getting a VA loan. There's a lot of great opportunities and a lot of lower costs in having a VA loan. And you've earned this right. You've earned this right. So it's definitely something that you should be checking into and taking advantage of. The director, John Bell, acting executive director of the Department of Veteran Affairs Loan Guardian Service, also explains it provides early ownership for many people that would not have the opportunity to begin with. Since there's no down payment, it allows people to hold their wealth, and it gives them the ability to have long-term financial security by being able to own a house and let that equity grow. And that is the key for it, is that it's the long-term equity that you're going to gain with no down payment. So definitely check out VA loans when it comes to everything. All right, I want to take a look at Sherwood, and then we're going to hit a break here. We are still looking at the numbers for October. Haven't gotten in November numbers yet. Sherwood's looking at a $360,000 median sales price. That's 1.6% year over year. So they're still gaining, but you can see the softening in the market. Now the average sales price is a lot higher. 384, 118. That's 7.9% up year over year. You're starting to see the percent of original list price come down. They're at 98% of asking price. And the trailing 12 months, that's still sitting at 100.4. So you can see how long, for how often we were writing for over list price. Average market time is still only 44 days in Sherwood. Now, here's the clickbait. Yes, it's up 120%. It was 20 days. But still, 44 days is 7 weeks. 6 weeks. You're at 6 weeks, roughly. That's still a very, very good market time. It really is. So there is nothing to be concerned about if you're looking to sell your house. Inventory of homes at the end of the month is dead flat. So we are still not seeing any inventory pickups. There was 46 units at the end of 2021. There's 46 units in September of this year. So why the soft median number? A lot of reasons. You're seeing buyers, having affordability issues. There's no doubt about it. You're seeing prices continue to rise. Are they going to go down? Maybe in some markets, on certain areas. I think on the short term, it's a possibility, but I still think in the long term, 5 years out, we're 20% up. So we will see where we're at in 5 years and how that plays out. But the fact of the matter is, whether the price of the house goes up or down, even if it goes down 5%, you're still building equity, because the interest rate on renting is always 100%. So, all right. We're going to talk about that home equity as a source of strength when we get back. So keep it here with Get Real with Eddie.
Doing everything for you except the moving, and be glad. It's Get Real with Eddie.
Welcome back to Get Real with Eddie. Hey, if you got questions on the market, give me a call. 815-823-5478. Again, 815-823-5478. We will definitely be able to help you in any way, whether you're looking to buy, sell, or need to be talked out of renting. Anything you need, give us a call. 815-823-5478. All right, so home equity was a big topic when I was in Orlando. There was a lot of discussion of how these market times are still extremely low. And I know it doesn't seem like, oh, we were selling them in hours and now it's taking days. Well, yeah, but historically, it's so low. I mean, I was talking to so many people, and some market times, I had New Hampshire when I was getting ready to get on the plane, and they were sitting there saying that, yeah, that we're selling still in hours, maybe days. That their market times may be like 2 weeks. And we're sitting at, we just went through Sherwood numbers at 44 days. But that still historically is so low, because it normally is 150 to 180 days to sell your house. So we're still seeing a lot of sellers, those that are choosing to sell their house and come in with a substantial amount of cash down. So Mark Fleming, chief economist at First American, says don't expect a housing bust like the mid-2000s, as leading standards in the housing cycle have been much tighter and homeowners have historically high levels of equity. So there likely won't be a surge in foreclosures. And it was weird because I talked to a couple people and they're saying, oh yeah, foreclosure numbers are down. And then I talked to one person on the expo floor. Oh, there's 15 million ghost foreclosures. 15 million ghost foreclosures when we only sell probably 4 million houses this year. I don't know where he said where he was getting the number. I'm not going to repeat it because I haven't been able to verify it. Because where he says he's getting the number from, we've had their stats on and we've never seen 15 million out there. I don't know where this is coming from, but I want you guys to know this. I want you guys to understand these are the conversations that are being had out there. These are the things being said. So that's an interesting spot because we have the Mortgage Bankers Association giving us a graph. Percentage of mortgages in forbearance decreased to 0.69% in September. Those that are in forbearance, because that was the big talk of forbearance. It is now at 0.69%. So, and Nancy is here and she is ready to go. So we're going to have Nancy jump on in. Nancy, how are you doing?
I am great. Thank you. Welcome back.
I take it the board of directors meeting was fun.
It was very interesting. It always is. It's why I like participating, because you get to really know what's going on.
You do. You get a lot of information. That is the best part. And my only advice is if you enjoy this, go through the chairs. There's nothing like trying to go through the chairs and being the president. And you are definitely ready, I'm just saying.
We'll see. We'll see.
Your thoughts on this foreclosure stuff? We haven't seen any numbers that justify what this person... Now, keep in mind, the person who was saying this also sold a short sale negotiation product.
Ah, well, there you go. There's motivation.
I do have to question the motivation. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, where are you coming up with this number?
Not seeing it.
Not seeing it?
Not seeing it.
I agree. So, Investopia, am I saying Topedia?
Investopedia.
I don't know why that's tongue-tying me today, but there's always something, let's be honest. Typically, default is triggered when a borrower misses a specific number of monthly payments. Foreclosure is a legal process by which a lender attempts to recover the amount owed on a default loan by taking ownership of and selling the mortgaged property. So, that's all true. Very basic kind of concept. The good news is there are alternatives available to help you. So, and I get it. We just had a pandemic, let's be honest.
Yeah.
We've seen some job loss because of people bracing for either whether we were in a recession or we are going into a recession. My humble belief is that the GDP for fourth quarter is going to be high. My humble belief is we actually did have a recession over the summer. It was very, very, very small.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. We had a little dip.
I think we're going to have another dip. How much, I can't tell yet, coming into 2023. Because everybody's saying recession's coming, and you see a lot of indicators showing this. You're seeing a lot of, in our industry, we've seen some companies laying off. A lot of job changes in our industry.
I think there's some changes. I think there's a lot of... So here's my take on it. We, in our modern history, meaning the last 100 years, have not had to deal with coming out of a pandemic.
No.
And I think our structural system and the way we do business in our current modern world
Yes.
is changing and has changed because of the pandemic. We're in uncharted territory. So I think there's going to be a lot of spurts and starts before we level out again.
So instead of the pendulum swinging left to right, it's swinging north to south, let's be honest.
And then left to right.
And left to right.
then
So
kind of circles.
It's just doing a big circle.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Basically, that's what's doing.
And that is a really good analogy because let's be honest, because of the pandemic, and the fact that we're in a global economy, our supply chains totally were messed up. If you have certain countries that are in complete lockdown, and those countries are specifically the countries that are getting specific goods. If no one's going to work to make the goods, guess what? They're going to get here later.
Right.
And they're going to back up.
And they're not going to get made. And then this country is the one that supplies the materials to get to this country, to get it made, to get to our country. You know what I mean? That gets really complicated.
And get final assembly. Let's be honest. You don't necessarily have the final assembly done, like almost every car is made now in America.
Yeah, final assembly. But look at how long it took to get chips, and we're still behind.
Yeah. Ford's got a backlog. The last I knew, they had a backlog of trucks that needed chips.
So while the pandemic per se is the worst of it is over, we're still feeling effects, and we're going to feel those effects for years.
Yeah.
To come.
Yeah, I think you got at least
5, I would think.
You think 5?
I think 5.
I think it's 2 or 3. I think in 2 or 3 years.
It's going to be closer to 5.
Really?
Yeah.
That's an interesting thought. And going back to the chip aspect, I have a 2016 vehicle. When I bought it, they go to sell me the extended warranty. My wife never takes extended warranties.
Yeah.
She's starting to change her mind because we've had a lot of appliances breaking on us. So she's starting to change her mind.
Me too. That's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But they told me flat out that my car has 9 computers in the car. And that was a 2016 vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
9 computers. So just think about how many these newer 2022 have in them.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like it's going to be a while before because of not just the pandemic, but how we do business in general has changed, like going more remote and new rules and things for businesses and how they do things. And
you bring up a good concept because here's the thing. Let's say I'm a manufacturer and I'm totally upset and I want to bring it all back into America. All right, whatever my product
or there's incentives, and now you're wanting to bring it back.
So I want to bring my manufacturing back into the United States because my widget, going back to Econ 101, my widget is getting here, here, and here, and I just want to do it all here in the United States. So to do that, I think you're right. It would take, a year to scout out a location. It would take 2 years to build the factory. It would take another year to, get the factory up to full hiring process and full, and full operations. And then you got a year actually now to just crank out the goods. I mean, you would start seeing change maybe by year 3 when I start hiring my first individual. But year 4 is where you're really going to start seeing some impact because I'm hiring on staff now. By year 5, that's when it's really, I think you could be onto something.
Easily, because you think about it, okay, year 2, you're all good, you're setting this up, and now you can't get this good because they're still backed up from the pandemic and from this and that, other, outside forces. So now you're set back another 6 months or a year. So, like I said, fits and starts. That's going to be the word. That's going to be my words. Fits and starts for a while.
So here's the question. Where are we at in that process? Are we in a year 1, year 2, year 3? Because, I mean, the pandemic was 2020 is when we got shut down first. Well, it was 2020
through... We really didn't start opening things up until 2021, where people were opening up and feeling comfortable and starting to get back. But I would say we're still in year 1 because of supplies. Because, look at China. They're still shut down. Look at how much stuff we get from China.
Did you see the news? I saw a news report this morning that there was a province or section of China where the residents just totally got upset, walked outside. I mean, they were supposed to be locked down in their houses, and there was a mass amount of people that just started walking through the downtown area, moving barricades. So that's going to be, and this province has, I guess, been shut down since November 5th. I didn't see which exactly one and where. So that's going to make a big difference. It really is. It will be intriguing to see what happens and where it goes.
So I would call it year 1.
Year 1. All right. 16048 South Long Common Lane in Plainfield. This is a ranch model, 3-car garage, 3-bedroom, 3-bath. They are still looking for an owner, so if you want to check this out, we are going to have an open house Saturday noon to 2. Check it out. Stop on in. That's 16048 South Long Common Lane in Plainfield. Asking price on this is $990. This does feature 42-inch cabinets, quartz countertops. It is within walking distance of Gregory B. Bott Park and Fort Beggs bike trails, Mather Woods, and great location. You just, best thing about Plainfield, you're only 45 minutes roughly from Chicago and going shopping on that Magma.
Oh, and it's a beautiful property.
It is.
It really is lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sat that open house there last week, and I gotta say, my husband came to visit, and he was quite impressed.
my wife's been through that, and she likes that model. There's another model they like, but they don't build. Lennar doesn't build it in Illinois, and it's mainly because the municipality wouldn't allow it, because it's a multi-generational home. It is so amazing. I love that.
That would really...
Yeah,
that's where we're headed, I think, as a multi-generational.
Yeah. So, all right, when we get back, what do I want to do? Let's talk about why new building could be added to your home search. So keep it here with Get Real with Eddie.
It's Get Real with Eddie, where everyone deserves the opportunity of home.
Welcome back to Get Real with Eddie. You got questions on that market? Give Nancy a call. Nancy, what's the best number to reach you at?
Give me a call, 815-545-1162.
All right, so why is it time to add newly built homes to your search? National Association of Home Builders, the NAHB, says this. According to Quarterly Housing Trends reports, the popularity of new construction homes is continuing to rebound. It's interesting. Newly single-family homes inventory remained elevated at 9.2 months supply of varying stages of construction. A measure 6-month supply is considered balanced.
I'm really glad they said varying stages of construction, because around here, there's no 9-month supply.
Well, we've got, and that's the thing, it's the various stages. A lot of the reasons why they've got 9.2 months is going back to where we were with the conversation earlier of the supply chain.
Mm-hmm.
Concrete, doors, electrical, wiring, everything was taking forever at some points.
Yes.
Now, I'll give Creekside Crossing a huge plug. They did an amazing job, and we had very, very little noticeable delays. There was some delays. I'm not going to say that, there wasn't. But with their buying power and what they were able to do was just outstanding.
Helped tremendously.
It did. They were totally targeted on helping their clientele. Totally targeted on helping their clientele. And it made such a big, big difference. But I think that's the thing. So, I'm looking at quick move-ins right now at Creekside. There's 2.
Mm-hmm.
2 houses that are going to be done ready to go at November. That's it.
Yeah, so there's no 9 months supply. When you think 9 months supply, okay, that's a total different perception. Put it that way.
Yeah, and if you're looking right now, because a lot of these builders, their year end is coming up. Mm-hmm. Whether it ended October, it ends at November, or it ends in December, every one of them is a little different on how they do their calendar year and their fiscal year.
Mm-hmm.
But right now is a great time if you are looking at new construction to strike. Because a lot of these builders are publicly traded. And they want to hit their sales numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, they're looking to play, hey, let's make a deal.
Yeah.
They are.
Yeah.
They want to play let's make a deal. And no one thinks about these things. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I think you've got a better chance of getting a good deal on new construction right now than you do in January.
Oh, I definitely agree on that.
Because come January, their sales forecasts and guidance are all going to be a lot more tamer and a lot more lower and easier for them to hit.
Yeah, they're not going to be under the gun, so to speak, to get it sold. So, yeah, you're going to have some deals right now.
Doug Duquesne, chief economist at Fannie Mae, a continual increase in the number of completed homes available for sale is now occurring, with the inventories of such homes now at highest level since July of 2020. This suggests to us that builders may be increasingly willing to offer more aggressive incentives and discounts to maintain sales of completed inventory. And this is the other aspect of it. That's the other shoe.
Mm-hmm.
So the first shoe is that they're not talking about is, guess what? The market and their year end and all that other stuff of wanting to hit sales goals.
Yeah.
The other is, guess what? They're starting to carry inventory. And so they don't like carrying inventory. Once that house is done, they want it off their books and closed.
Yeah.
So you got a chance to play, hey, let's make a deal again. So I think looking at, and guess what? So you find a model you like. You can't, and here's the tip. If you cannot afford it in one area, ask them where their other areas are. You can go to the other area. Then you have to make a decision. Am I going to move to here to get the house I want for the price I want?
Yeah.
I saw a brand new construction come up on a search for a client. Brand new house, $225,000.
Wow.
You had to go to Waterman, Illinois. Waterman, Illinois. Do you know where Waterman, Illinois
Yeah,
is?
my dad used to be a plumbing contractor and actually used to go to Waterman once in a while.
Out past Yorkville.
It's way out there.
Yeah, so you're,
super boonies.
You're kind of between Yorkville and DeKalb.
Yeah, it's out in
But
farm country.
Guess what? You can get a house for $225,000.
Yeah.
Commute to Chicago, what, hour and a half probably down 88?
Yeah,
I don't know
probably. But here again, if you're remote 3 days a week.
That was the huge, you just hit it. And I said before you got here, we're going to be talking about what I heard in Orlando. And I sent you pictures because I was 2 rows back from Lawrence Yun.
Oh, I gotta say that was awesome. I was a little jelly about that.
I had a chance to go up and approach him at a private event because there's some amazing stuff. All right, we had a Universal pass one night.
Mm-hmm.
I went on the motorcycle ride for Harry Potter. Yeah, I won't do that again. But we'll go into that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we're running out of time. But Lawrence Yun said one of the biggest changes in the market, when you're looking at where people have moved, usually it's within 12 miles. It is now 50 miles average.
That's huge.
Average. So that is just crazy when you're looking at 50 miles average from 12.
Yeah.
I mean, that this remote working is still dominating the market. All right. Builder? I don't know who Builder is, but sums up. For someone, it's the lure of something new and modern. For others, it's the move-in ready experience. And now there's another factor to consider when making the decision: technology. And that's kind of what you just said. That move-in aspect of it is so huge, so big, and you can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
So definitely keep new construction on your target list. Do not necessarily rule it out. I know Creekside Crossing's got some rate lock options too, under 6 right now.
Yes, they have some really good options.
So if you turn around and were to have a question, give me or Nancy a call on that. We'd love to help you out if you're not working with a realtor. If you are, work with your local realtor. They're there to help you with whatever your next home buying decision is. And if you got questions, don't forget, check out GetRealWithEddie.com. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Thanks for listening to Get Real with Eddie. Eddie Ruettiger is a realtor at Baird Warner in Plainfield, license number 475141896. Managing broker Steve Engel. For more information on your neighborhood, call Eddie at 815-823-5478 or visit yourdwellings.com.